Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. Got a great video planned out for you guys today. Probably not going to be a super long video. I want to talk a little bit about the gold-silver ratio and why I think silver either could be about ready to make a big breakout or we may be about ready to see gold take a pretty good hit down. Personally, I don't see gold really taking any kind of devastating hit. Could it have a little bit of a pullback? It definitely has been running up pretty quick right now. Seeing $100 a day, over $100 a day, was pretty amazing in one day. It's rare that you see $100 a day in the price of gold, and so I think something is definitely at play pretty soon. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to take a look at the gold-silver ratio charts, and I'm going to let you guys decide on what you think is a better buy right now, gold or silver. If you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me. It really helps out the channel. And if you're a member, I cannot thank you enough for being a member. And also, if you would, leave a comment. Let me know, what are you buying, gold or silver? I love to hear it. I know a lot of subscribers, members, people that watch the channel are big fans of gold, including myself. I love gold. I have some gold. I prefer silver though, and I really prefer silver right now because of some of the things that I'm going to show you guys today. So if you enjoy the video, like I said, hit that thumbs up, and with that being said, let's jump in. So real quick, let's take a quick peek at what the silver price is, because it is Friday for you guys. Good Friday. Some people are not even working today, so they're going to have the day off. And if that's the case, hey, have a great long weekend. And for those of you that are working, I still hope you have a good weekend. We've got silver right now, though, at $32.54 with the stock market closed. This is the price we're going to sit on all weekend. And I'm hoping the coin stores are open today, because I do hope to call up and try to negotiate a deal now that we have the price kind of fixated. It is up about $2 higher from where I was kind of hoping to buy at, but I kind of think we could see it continue to run up, especially when you look at the recent. We saw this big dip, and then we started seeing it climb. I think it's going to go up higher, but we'll get there in a bit. Gold sitting at $3,327. Again, when you look at this and you look at it for today, 5 days, it's up. 1 month, it's up. And this was the dip that I just showed you guys in the silver, this dip right here. So silver had not recovered yet from that recent drop that we took right here, but gold pushed forward and just really had an amazing jump last week, or this, I should say, this week. Moving into the DXY real quick, I want to take a quick peek at this and see what it did. Trading at 99.42, which is pretty surprising, actually. I either thought it would either jump up a little bit or fall a little bit more, only because one of the analysts that I actually watch made a statement recently that he don't even think the DXY will go back over 100 anytime soon. And being as close as it has been, I kind of find that interesting. Like, maybe, you know, that didn't sound accurate. However, after seeing what it did today, I was like, wow, you know. Jumping in, taking a look at the Dow Jones. Dow Jones trading down 527 points, or 1.33%. NASDAQ continuing to fall, but not very much, only down 20 points, or basically 0.1%. S&P 500 trading up 7 points. Really a flat day, aside from the Dow taking a pretty good hit. Always interesting to check out Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin. One of the things I like about Bitcoin, let me reword that. I don't want to invest in Bitcoin, but I do like Bitcoin in terms that it trades 24/7, 7 days a week. And I think that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out this weekend. And depending on what it does this weekend, it might give a little bit of a foreshadowing on how next week is going to play out. Obviously, we do have a Fed meeting coming in the beginning of next month. So when you look at that, do I have it right here still? Where was it? I think it was the 6th and the 7th. Bam, yeah, May 6th, May 7th. I'm really curious to see how that's going to play out, but we still have a couple weeks before we see that. If the Fed decides to cut interest rates, that's what the stock market's waiting on. That's what Bitcoin is waiting on, and I'm curious to see how that will play out for gold. Obviously, a rate cutting should kick the price of gold and silver up. Right now, the fact that gold is doing so good and the economy is kind of slipping, not just in stocks, but I'm seeing it in restaurants slowing down. I'm seeing it in more houses hitting the market. I'm even seeing in some neighborhoods multiple homes selling up for sale, and causing a little bit of people having to go lower than they wanted to. I actually know one person that just dropped the price of his house by about $10,000 because there's too many other houses in the neighborhood that are for sale and he wants to stand out. Now, I really wonder if this ain't going to be a trend and all of a sudden we'll start seeing housing prices drop. With interest rates where they're at and the economy where it's at, I think a lot of people are starting to get a little worried about, what's going on. And so, if they were thinking about buying a new house, in some people's cases, they have their house and then they ended up just buying a new one thinking they're going to be able to sell the old one, and now we're seeing this. So I'm kind of curious how that will play out. But like I said, today's video, I really want to focus my attention on the gold silver ratio. I kind of ran through that pretty quick, I know, only because it's been the same old, and here we are closed for the weekend, so we're not really going to see a whole lot happen over the next couple days. So I wanted to take a quick look at the gold to silver ratio. In order to show this chart, we're going to first take a look at where we are right now. Excuse me. We'll hit the 1 day mark. And you can see we are now trading at 102.23. Up, we did see right towards the end. Recently, we saw that uptick. I clicked 1 day, but it's not coming up 1 day. That's crazy. More recently, we did have that uptick up over 100. And when you look at the long-term chart right here, what you can see is a high of 125. It says a low of 14 to 1 at one time. I didn't realize it was a low that low, but that would make sense right around, I guess, the Hunt brother time period, 1980. So a 14 to 1. Now, I don't see us going down to 14 to 1, but what I really want people to look at is where it's at right now. We are basically just over 100 now. So 100 is this line right here. And when you look at that, I mean, there's only been one time where it touched that. One time where it really went through that. And I remember I was actually stacking during this period of time. I remember when it hit the 125 to 1 because a lot of YouTubers were talking about it. And I remember how quick it had came down too. It didn't like sit up there and levitate for a long period of time. And when it came down, it really dropped. As you can see, it dropped all the way down to, right around a little under 70 to 1. And so there was a good opportunity there to pick up essentially silver and then trade it out for gold. Now, some people will say you can't do that. To a certain point, it may be difficult. They may take percentages. I've been watching videos where people have been doing it, but they are paying like a 4% transaction fee, which can be hefty. But 100 ounces of gold, even if you're able to get a 4% on that, you're basically going to go from 100 to 96. And 96 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold, in my opinion, still puts you well above the average over the history of the gold-silver ratio that we've been tracking it. I find it extremely interesting that we are as high as we are. I think a lot of that comes down to the huge amount of money that is in the system right now. And a lot of that money is starting to panic and they're moving into gold. It's not moving into silver yet. However, once something breaks down in the system and everyday people start flooding in, I would expect to see everyday people more flood to silver. And the reason for that is going to be essentially because it's more affordable. How many people can afford a $3,300 ounce of gold now? I talk to people and most of them, I mean, I actually seen one at a pawn shop a little while back and they were just asking spot price for it. They weren't asking a premium. They just wanted, well, actually, I think there was a little bit of a premium. I think it was like $40. But it was spot, even at spot plus 40, that's one thing I dislike about looking at certain websites is they always popping up commercials. Um, but a lot of people just can't afford it. And now, with it being as high as it is, what I'm hoping to do is start making some calls. I wanted to do it this week and kind of see if I could find someone that was willing to swap out some gold for some extra silver. Because when you really think about it, someone could end up really doing well, even if they have to cut out a 4%, especially when you're looking at 102 to 1. You could essentially get approximately 98, maybe even 97 ounces of silver for every 1 ounce of gold. And if that's possible, it's definitely an opportunity for me, because I could picture it having a drastic drop back down, especially because of what happened right here in approximately 2019, 2020. So we'll see how that plays out. Not, like I said, not a long video today. I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to hear y'all's thoughts. I asked one of my buddies about it, and he said, it doesn't matter. I ain't getting rid of nothing. And I said, yeah, I guess that's the truth. And then I said, what do you think about the price where it's at right now? He goes, it doesn't bother me either way. I'm not selling. I'm going to keep accumulating stuff. Honestly, I'd like to see it just come down so I can buy more for my money. And that's kind of where I guess I'm at right now. I'd like to get some extra stuff. And so if the price would fall, it would be good for me, I think. But I know some people out there, they don't want to see a drop in price. They want to see the momentum start building up. And that way we can push to a new, I'll say, all-time high, because I do think we will see $50 not too far down the road, as early as next year, if not this year. So with that being said, going to kind of wrap up here. I'm exhausted today. Like y'all know, some of y'all know, I've been remodeling my kitchen, and it's just been taking its toll. Last night I only got 3 hours of sleep. Because I had someone working with me, and he was here super early this morning, ready to work, and he's outside my door calling my phone and knocking on the door, and so I was like, oh, I'm exhausted. But definitely an opportunity here, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys are going to do this weekend. A super short video, I guess, only 12 minutes, far from the average 30, but it is a holiday, so holiday weekend. Let me know. You guys going to pick up some silver this weekend? You going to pick up some gold this weekend? Are you going to do any trading? I'm always eager to hear if anybody trades some gold for some silver. I did get I can't remember if it was a comment or an email where someone traded some literally grams of gold for silver. So it was kind of interesting there. There's opportunity. If you look around, I'm not a big fan of little grams of gold, but it's kind of funny where a gram of gold is right now. It's over $100 a gram, and so there's a lot of opportunity there. I actually have one friend that he said he used to pick up grams of gold in giveaways all the time on YouTube. He's probably sitting on, I don't know, 50, 60 little grams, and it's hard to really see that as value, but it is value. And once you realize that, there's opportunity. So with that being said, I don't want to beat this video too long because it was going to be a quick one. So and like I said, I'm tired today. So I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. I hope you have a great weekend, and thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.